Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. We love to dig into big ideas here, and today we're tackling something a little different.
A bit of a twist.
Yeah, we're diving deep into a student research paper
Oh, wow.
called Monotropism Meets Machine, AI-Human Partnership for Inclusive Learning.
Catchy title.
Right. So this paper, it was written by Kerry Draper, a student at the College of Western Idaho,
Cool.
for his psychology 251 statistical methods class
Okay.
with Professor Heather Shonier.
Nice.
And you know what? This paper, it's really fascinating stuff.
I agree. It really caught my eye, too. AI in education is such a hot topic right now. And what I found so interesting about Carey's paper is that he dives into this specific cognitive style, monotropism, and how AI could be a total game changer for these learners.
Okay, so for our listeners who might not be familiar with monotropism, can you give us a quick rundown?
Sure. So monotropism, it's all about having this deep, singular focus.
Yeah.
Like you're completely absorbed in one thing at a time.
Yeah.
It's like having an attention tunnel,
Yeah.
You're so locked in on what you're doing that everything else just fades away.
Yeah, I get that.
It was actually described in detail in a 2005 paper by Dinah Murray, Mike Lesser, and Wendy Lawson, Attention, Monotropism, and the Diagnostic Criteria for Autism.
Right.
Yeah.
And here's another layer to this whole thing. Kerry himself is neurodivergent.
Oh, wow.
So he's bringing this really unique perspective to the research. Like a blend of personal experience and academic rigor.
I love that. It adds so much authenticity to the work, doesn't it?
Totally. And we're also going to bring in another perspective, too, from a 2023 paper, Multimodality of AI for Education Towards Artificial General Intelligence
Okay.
by Li and Shi et al., just to give us a wider view of AI in education.
Perfect. So, ready to unpack Carey's paper.
Let's do it. Where do we even begin with something like this?
Well, the abstract is always a good place to start. It gives us a roadmap for what Carey's trying to explore.
Okay, so what's the big idea in the abstract? What's Kerry setting out to do here?
Well, he really wants to highlight how AI can personalize education and make it more inclusive, especially for neurodivergent learners.
Got it. And he specifically focuses on adults who are diagnosed later in life. Why is that?
It's a great question. You see, awareness of neurodiversity has come a long way.
Right.
But in the past, a lot of people didn't get diagnosed until they were adults, which means they kind of missed out on early support and accommodations in school.
Wow. Yeah, I see how that would be a huge disadvantage.
Exactly. So Carey's looking at how AI could help bridge that gap, provide the support that maybe wasn't available before.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
So think about it, right? The traditional classroom is built on all these assumptions about how people learn.
Right.
If you learn differently, if you're wired differently, it can be incredibly frustrating.
Oh, absolutely. And Carey's paper actually highlights some of those specific challenges.
Like what?
Well, he talks about the struggle of switching between tasks quickly or dealing with sensory overload in a busy classroom, things like that.
It paints a picture of what it's actually like to be in that situation.
Exactly. It's not just theory, it's lived experience.
Okay, so we see the problem, we see the potential solution, AI.
Yeah.
But what does that actually look like? What kind of AI tools is Kerry talking about?
He evaluates 3 specific tools in his paper, a clarification tool, a summarization tool, and a tailored learning tool.
Okay, break those down for me. What do those tools actually do?
All right, so the clarification tool, imagine you get an assignment, right?
Yeah.
And the instructions are just confusing, full of jargon.
Oh, been there.
This tool steps in and simplifies those instructions, makes them crystal clear.
Wow, that sounds incredibly helpful.
Right. Then there's the summarization tool, which is all about combating cognitive overload.
Oh, interesting.
It takes these long, dense academic readings and boils them down into these concise summaries.
So it's like personalized Cliff's Notes for your studies.
Exactly. And finally, the tailored learning tool, this one personalizes the entire learning experience.
Oh, wow.
It adapts to the user's preferences, their strengths, even their past performance.
So it's like a learning environment that actually adjusts to you.
That's the idea.
Oh, that's what I call innovation. And here's the thing that blows me away. Kerry actually used these tools himself.
I know, right? He walked the walk before he talked the talk.
He was his own guinea pig. And then get this. He took it even further.
How so?
He created simulated data representing 399 other participants to make his study even stronger.
Wait, simulated data. I'm intrigued.
Me too. Explain this to me like I'm 5.
Okay, so basically he used his own survey responses as a starting point,
Okay.
and then he tweaked those responses, creating variations to represent different people.
Oh, I see. Like changing ages, backgrounds, when they were diagnosed.
Exactly. So he could test his hypothesis that folks diagnosed later in life would find those AI tools even more helpful.
That's brilliant. So what did he find?
The results were fascinating. Across all 3 tools, the data showed that the adult diagnosed folks did find them significantly more helpful.
So his hypothesis was right.
Spot on. And it wasn't just a small difference either.
What do you mean?
The paper talks about large effect sizes.
Okay, I'm not a statistician. What does that mean in plain English?
It means the difference between the groups was huge E, statistically speaking.
Oh, wow. That's a big deal. So it wasn't just random chance. These tools were really making a difference.
Exactly. It suggests there's a real need here, and AI might be able to fill it.
Okay, this is all really exciting. But I gotta ask, what does this all mean? Like, what are the bigger implications here?
Well, Kerry's basically sending a message to educators and policymakers. He's saying, hey, pay attention. AI can make education more inclusive and equitable.
It's like he's saying, let's build a classroom where everyone's needs are met.
Exactly. And his research is a huge step towards making that a reality.
This is seriously blowing my mind. We've got to take a break, but when we come back, we'll dive even deeper into the potential of AI in education. Don't go anywhere.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
It really makes you think, like, why haven't we been doing this all along? You know?
Yeah, all right. It's like common sense, but we also got to be careful, right?
Oh, yeah? What do you mean?
AI is a tool at the end of the day.
Right.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Kerry's paper really emphasizes that AI should be used to help educators, not to replace them.
It's about empowering teachers, not making them obsolete, right?
Exactly. It's about partnership, you know?
Yeah. Humans and machines working together.
Exactly. And teachers and students, researchers and educators, it's a team effort.
So are the tools that Kerry evaluated just the tip of the iceberg? I mean, is there more out there?
Oh, absolutely. We're just scratching the surface here.
What else is out there? Like, give me some examples.
Okay, think about virtual tutors that give you real-time feedback as you're working, or AI-powered platforms that adjust to your learning speed and style.
Wow, that's like science fiction becoming reality.
It is. And speaking of the future, we've got this 2023 paper, Multimodality of AI for Education Towards Artificial General Intelligence.
Okay, that title is a mouthful.
Right. It's by Lee and Shi and a bunch of other folks. And it's a really interesting look at the bigger picture of AI in education.
Okay, break it down for me. What's multimodal AI?
It's like using all the senses to learn.
All the senses.
Yeah. Think text, graphics, audio, video. It's a multisensory learning experience.
Okay, so instead of just reading a textbook, I could be like in a virtual world learning.
Exactly. Or listening to personalized audio lessons.
Wow, that sounds amazing. But is it actually happening, or is this all still theory?
It's closer than you think. And the coolest thing about it, it can be tailored to each student. Some people are visual learners, others prefer audio.
Right, right.
Multimodal AI can adapt to all those different learning styles.
So everyone gets a learning experience that actually works for them.
Precisely. And Lee and Shi actually suggest that multimodal AI could be like a stepping stone towards something called artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
Hey, hold on, AGI. That sounds like something out of a movie. What is that?
I know, right? It sounds super futuristic, but basically, AGI is AI that can understand and reason like a human being.
So we're not just talking about AI that's smart. We're talking about AI that's actually intelligent.
You got it. Machines that can learn, adapt, solve problems just like we do.
Whoa. Okay, my mind is officially blown.
I know, it's pretty wild.
So how does all this connect back to Kerry's paper? His work was mostly about text, right?
Right. His focus was on the textual side of learning, but his findings actually support this whole idea of personalized learning.
Even if it's just in one modality, like text.
Exactly. It's like proof that personalized learning works. And if it works with text, imagine the possibilities when we bring in all those other modalities.
So it's like we're taking the idea of a personalized tutor and multiplying it by 1,000.
Exactly. Lee and Shi talk about AI systems that create interactive simulations, personalized learning pathways, even real-time feedback with text, audio, and video all combined.
It's like having an entire teaching team dedicated to just you.
And it's not just about the students. Multimodal AI could be huge for teachers, too.
How so?
Think about AI tools that help with lesson planning, grading, even curriculum development.
That would free up so much time for teachers to actually teach, right?
Exactly. They could focus on building relationships with students, mentoring them, providing that human connection that's so important.
So it's all about collaboration.
Yeah,
Humans and machines working together to create this amazing learning environment.
that's the goal. And it's exciting to think about the potential.
Okay, but let's get real for a second. What are the downsides?
Yeah.
There's got to be some risks with all this, right?
You're right. It's not all sunshine and roses. We need to be thoughtful about this.
Yeah, like what about data privacy? If AI is collecting all this info about how students learn,
That's a huge
it
concern.
needs to be protected.
Absolutely. We need clear guidelines to make sure student data is handled responsibly and ethically.
It's a balancing act, right?
Yeah.
We want personalized learning, but we also need to protect privacy.
Exactly. And another challenge, access and equity.
Oh, right. Not everyone has equal access to technology.
Exactly. We can't create a system where only rich kids get the benefits of AI in education.
Yeah, we need to make sure these tools are available to everyone.
It's about bridging the digital divide, not widening it.
This is a lot to think about. AI in education, it's not just about the tech. It's about ethics, society, the future of learning.
It's complex, but it's a conversation we need to be having.
So what are our next steps? Where do we go from here?
We need to keep asking those tough questions about access, equity, privacy, and ethics.
We can't just blindly embrace AI. We need to be thoughtful and intentional about how we use it.
Exactly. It's about using AI to empower both students and teachers.
This deep dive has been amazing. We've explored Carrie's research on monotropism, Lee and Xi's work on AGI, and the whole landscape of AI in education.
It's mind-blowing to think about how much potential there is.
But we also need to proceed with caution, right? Make sure we're using AI responsibly.
Absolutely. It's about finding that balance between innovation and ethics.
It's crazy to think how much education has already changed, like even in just the last few years.
I know, right? It's been a whirlwind.
And now with AI in the mix, it feels like we're on the verge of something massive.
It's exciting and a little daunting, right?
Totally. But what gives me hope is that it's not just coming from like big tech companies or whatever.
Right.
It's coming from students like Carrie too.
Yeah. Students who are using their own experiences to shape the future of education.
I mean, his paper on monotropism and AI, it really opened my eyes to what personalized learning could be.
It's not just some abstract idea. It's about real students, real challenges, real solutions.
And it's proof that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to education.
Exactly. We all learn differently, and AI can help us honor those differences.
It's like we're taking all these individual insights from Carrie's work and combining them with the broader vision of AGI and multimodal learning from Lee and Xi.
To create a future where learning is more engaging, effective, and accessible for everyone.
That's the dream, right?
It is. But we need to make sure it's a dream that benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Right, right. So it's not about replacing teachers with robots.
Definitely not.
It's about giving them the tools and support they need to create these amazing learning environments.
It's about partnership, collaboration, and using technology to enhance the human element of education.
Not to erase it.
Exactly.
It's like we're adding to the toolbox, not throwing it away.
I love that analogy.
And it's not just about academics either. We're talking about fostering creativity, collaboration, critical thinking.
Those 21st century skills that are so important.
Because let's be real, the world is changing fast.
Faster than ever.
And we need to prepare students for jobs that might not even exist yet.
AI can help us do that by helping students develop those adaptable, future-proof skills.
It's been a wild ride today. We've talked about monotropism, AI tools, AGI, multimodal learning.
It's a lot to take in.
But I think the takeaway is that AI has incredible potential to revolutionize education.
It does, but we need to be smart about it.
We need to be asking those tough questions about ethics, access, equity.
And we need to keep those conversations going.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a question.
Okay, hit me.
If you could design the perfect AI-powered learning experience, what would it look like?
Oh, that's a good one.
What features would it have? How would it empower both students and teachers?
I think that's something for all of us to think about.
Because the future of education is in our hands.
Let's shape it wisely.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI and education. We'll be back soon with more explorations of cutting-edge ideas and research.
Until next time.